What's up? Back with AG Sports. Guys, today I am going to be leaving the main notes for this video in the comment section below or in the details below. Check that if you're really just trying to get the picks and get the hell out of here. Check it below. I'm long-winded. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. I'm making these videos for people who want to have conversations. If you're getting blue balls because I'm talking too much and you're not getting your pick, just read the thing below, guys. In other news, for people who actually want to hear some conversation, not just get some picks, let's take a look at what the Titans are doing. So one of the picks I've been pretty high on this whole week has been the Titans, and they started off this week at Bookmaker, which, again, that's the first book I usually check, at a plus 1.5 and a minus 108 odds line. That line has moved. The money line now is actually even moving. So earlier in the week, this was pretty much all plus 100, with a couple of these being like plus 102, plus 103. Back at the beginning of the week when I got my plus 1.5, it was also plus 103. So that was definitely a change. But when we go to the spread, it has changed to where now it's just plus one across the board, and honestly a lot of places don't even have this. So Bookmaker, for example, which is where again I check, it is down to just a pick'em, and it's minus 108 for both sides. So a lot of places are going that direction where it's going to just end up being a pick'em. So if you have not already gotten on this, guys, you might want to if you're still interested in the Titans. And if you didn't hear it in the previous videos, I am high on the Titans because the Titans are going to be playing their starters. They're going to get some time. They're treating this as as close to a dress rehearsal as we're probably going to get this year, where the Buccaneers have already come out saying, and they said this way back like on Monday, I think, Monday, that they were not going to be playing any starters, and that if anything, maybe the offensive line starters would get a couple of reps, and that would only be out of necessity. So that's what where the lean comes from and kind of where that is going. And I think as we get closer to the game and we're hearing more and more of this be brought to surface, you're going to see more and more people betting the Titans, and I fully expect a line flip on this one. So there might be some chances for like a little bit of arbitrage if you wanted to do that, but I'm good with just my Titans plus 1.5. Aside from the Titans, though, one other lean that I had given this week was going to be the Raiders. So it is the Raiders playing the Rams, and as we've discussed lots of times, the Rams cannot be bothered to care about preseason, and I don't hate them for it. I think that's actually a smart way to play it. But that being said, the Raiders started off this week at -7 against the Rams. Their line has moved down to -6, and I think you're seeing some people maybe just seeing the Rams name, and maybe they think the Rams have a deeper, roster or whatever the case is, and so they're betting that Rams team. But like I said, if Sean McVay isn't going to try, and he's going to keep everything as vanilla as possible to make sure that nobody's getting any of his plays on film, they're just not going to win, guys, and it's not going to be. It shouldn't really be close. So the one thing I do want to look for, though, is who the Raiders are starting. And I say that because the Rams and the Raiders have been playing joint practices this week. And so they've been basically scrimmaging all week against each other, or at least twice this week by the time the game actually gets to us. So by the time the game gets to us, the game is not really, for quote-unquote scouting. These coaches have seen these guys play. They've seen them go full speed, live action against other teams. And so a lot of times the preseason game after all these scrimmages is really just like, I don't know, I guess more practice for the coach, like throwing challenges, getting used to the refs, kind of getting back into play calling, all that kind of stuff. So I could see the Raiders, even though they probably do still want to win this game, really just taking it easy and not having to necessarily play all the starters because they know what it looks like. So Gruden was asked just this last interview, hey, who are you going to play? Are you taking your starters? And he wouldn't give an answer. So hopefully in the next day or two, you'll see something coming out saying, yes, Derek Carr is playing, Darren Waller's playing, even if it's just for a rep or two, a set or two, because really all you need is like one score from them, and then from there on out, hopefully you get like one or two from your subs and backups, and you guys who are not going to be playing football in another year or so. So let's keep a look out for that. and see if we can get some info on the Raiders. I'll let you know if I see anything on Twitter. Again, it's AG_sports21. I'll put out any notes as soon as I get them. But while I'm speaking of quotes and coach talk and all that kind of stuff, I do want to bring your attention to Brandon Staley, the new head coach of the Chargers. He was the defensive coordinator for the Rams last year. So I came into this year thinking he was going to be a pretty defensive-minded coach. He's been around the league, and he's obviously, he knows Sean McVay, so we all love that apparently. But in a lot of his quotes that he's saying and a lot of the videos and the stuff that he's mic'd up for in practice, it seems more and more like he wants to throw the ball. And in this little clip that they're showing here, and I don't want to show it because the last time I showed any sort of anything related to the NFL, video got taken down. So I'm just going to have the I guess, quote here. But he's talking about we're going to throw this ball down the field. And if that is truly his emphasis and that's what he wants to do, and I think it should be because he seems like a smart enough guy. He's got Justin Herbert and he's got Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, of course, and you have guys like Austin Eckler who can catch out of the backfield. He's got a good group of guys that he can run that offense with, and Anthony Lynn was really holding them back by trying to run the ball 200 times a game. So if Staley is really going to get out of their way and he's going to let them pass and be more aggressive, not only do I think this team is going to be better than what we're expecting, because if you ask me, they're kind of flying under the radar. I have not heard a lot of talk about the Chargers, but more importantly, for your individual needs, if you're looking at these guys for fantasy, I think Keenan Allen might be a little low. I know most of us treat him as like a just okay, he's okay, we're going to get our solid, 8, 9, 10 points out of him every week, and that's who he is. Well, if they're passing more and they're going to be more aggressive, not only does Justin Herbert need to get bumped up because he's going to have more pass attempts, but guys like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, who are going to be going down there, getting the ball, and probably have a deeper ADOT this year, need to also get bumped up our list to kind of account for that. So just keep that in mind. And also, when the season starts going here, I think it won't just be me. It's going to probably be a lot of people who assume that this Chargers team is going to be a defensive-minded, run-the-ball kind of team, and they're going to maybe be late to the game if they have not been paying attention to Brandon Staley. And so what's going to happen is you'll have a lot of time, or at least some time, to get on that Chargers bandwagon before the rest of everybody else jumps on. And lastly, let's talk about the Broncos. The Broncos are going to be playing the Seahawks this week in preseason, and I actually like the Broncos this week, not just because they seem like a team who's taking preseason seriously, but because Courtland Sutton seems to be getting ready to play in this game. And while I don't think they're going to put him out there for like a whole half or the whole game or anything, I think he's going to get some decent playing time because they're going to try to maybe work him back into the mix and get him kind of back into playing shape after the injury he suffered. So I like the Broncos to win in preseason. That's just a lean. I'm telling you right now, I'm not betting that game. I just think they're going to have a good showing. But what I am more, interested in with the Broncos is their opening schedule. I know a lot of teams, a lot of people in general, when it comes to like fantasy again, when they're looking at their defensive side of the ball and they're looking at taking a defense or special teams, they're looking at defenses that they think are like top tier defenses, and guys like Washington who had like a really good year last year, and that's fine. You can take whoever you want, but if you're like me and you wait till like the very last round to just grab a defense and okay, we'll roll with whatever we got here, maybe we'll stream some guys. Well, let's take a look at the Broncos. So they play the Giants week 1. The Giants, who may or may not have Saquon Barkley, and it's looking more and more like he's not going to be there since he's not showing any signs of anything yet. Guys like Daniel Jones, who are prone to fumbling the ball, throwing turnovers, and just overall not very careful with the ball. And the Broncos defense itself is not bad. It's a very good defense. Obviously, Vic Fangio is a defensive-minded coach, so they should have a decent showing in week 1, even if they don't win the game, which I think the line is like Broncos minus 1.5 right now, or it was. It may have changed recently. But the Broncos then move on to go play the Jaguars, so who they're going to be playing with a rookie quarterback, a first-year NFL head coach, and possibly a rookie running back, depending on who's starting back there. And while the Jaguars have some decent receivers, there's just too much, first-time players and coaches and staff there for my personal liking. And I think that they are going to struggle when you put in a rookie quarterback and you say, hey, here you go, here's Vic Fangio's defense, have at it. He's going to get some bad looks. He's going to get pressure. He's going to have all sorts of stuff go wrong. And I don't think that's going to be a good game for the Jaguars. But the Broncos should be able to capitalize on that. And their defense is probably going to be carrying them in those first 2 games. And then for week 3, they go to the Jets. Now, the Jets are going to be playing, obviously, again, another rookie quarterback. So that's 2 in a row. With guys that are, again, more rookies all over the place, with Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, Robert Salas is his first year with the Jets as their head coach, and I believe it's his first time as a true head coach. The Broncos should have a great open to the season, and I bring that up for a couple of reasons. So I've been talking about the defense as far as fantasy goes. That's my number one thing. That's actually what brought this to my attention, is if you're looking for a cheap defense you can take in the last round, grab the Broncos. You got at least 3 weeks where they should be pretty decent, and we can't promise you anything on this, but of course those 3 weeks look to be a pretty good 3 weeks, and that's the easiest open that I could find. But aside from fantasy, what about betting wise? So we have 3 games in which the Broncos, in my mind, should win. And so I don't think that they are the strongest team offensively, but I think guys like KJ Hamler, Cortland Sutton coming back, you still got Jerry Jeudy, and then you got guys like Javonte Williams, who actually looked really good in his first preseason game in the limited work he got. But I don't think their offense is that great. I think it's really good. I think it's probably better than people are expecting, but it's not amazing. It's not going to be like the Chiefs or anything like that. And at the end of the day, they're going to probably end up being maybe just a slightly above average team. But in these first 3 weeks, I fully expect to see them dominate. And I mean like blowout wins, like where they're averaging a win margin of like 14 points. And if that's the case, when they play the Ravens week 4, you're going to have a line that's going to give you a lot of room to work with. You're going to see something like, let's say, Ravens -3. Right? And so even though the Ravens have played harder competition, the Ravens are better on paper, they have a better quarterback, they're not going to get a lot of love this game because everybody at that time is going to be more interested in what they've seen the Broncos do and the blowout wins they've seen the Broncos get. And I see this every year. And right now you're looking at this and I'm pretty sure you're saying, like, man, like, this is crazy. You're going to see them beat up on a bunch of, bottom of the barrel teams, and we're going to give them that much love. Yes, it's going to happen. I promise you. Every year, the general public will run to Vegas at about this time, about week 4 or 5, maybe 6 sometimes if it's a little late, and they'll bet heavy on a team that they have seen demolish guys, not realizing or not understanding or just plain out not giving a shit that the teams that they beat beforehand were garbage or just like they're the very bottom of the barrel, and now they're going to play an actual contender. And I can almost guarantee you right now, as long as those first 3 weeks go according to plan, which is asking a lot, but if it does, grab the Ravens in week 4 and it's going to give you a very favorable line. So that's the pick I had for you guys as far as like regular season comes and kind of why. I got your defensive pick for fantasy and went over some quotes today. I'll be making another video shortly. The video is going to actually cover week 2 of the NFL regular season and Madden ratings and things like that, and some other tips to use that rating system and that algorithm. But thank you again, guys. Have a great day. Please like, comment below what you would like to hear next, or if there's anything else you're maybe curious about with the upcoming season. Have a great day.